without further ado, I want to get us to our main event. And to do that, I am going to introduce our leaders for the afternoon. We have Eric Belardo, who is the CEO of Rice's Cyber, and Brad Wolfenden with CATSI. Eric and Brad?
Well, for the main event, let me first introduce myself. My name's Eric Belardo, and I'm the founder of Rice's Cyber. We're one of the diversity partners for the U.S. Cyber Games. So I am super happy to be here with all of you doing this draft day. And today we're going to reveal the 30 people that are going to be part of this exciting team for season 2. So let's give it a round of applause for all the people we're about to show. Okay? So with me, our director of Cyber Games, Brad. Brad, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Eric. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brad Wolfenden. I'm the director of cyber sports here at CATSI Play Cyber. Just to tell you a little bit about how tonight's going to work, we are introducing the season 2 team. That will happen over 5 rounds. And in each round, we will introduce 5 athletes that have been selected, plus 1 award winner, a season 1 athlete that we're inviting back to season 2 to join our season 2 US Cyber team.
Wonderful, wonderful. And with that, I want to introduce you guys to the coaches of the US Cyber team for season 2. Let me first bring up Mr. Dan Brown, our assistant coach.
Dane.
Oh, Dane Brown, sorry. Dan Brown. Okay. Why did I mess that up? All right. And our head coach, Mr. Ken Jenkins. All right. So let's get ready for round 1 of the reveals.
Alrighty, folks. So for round 1, we have our first 5 athletes. And for this year, drafting our season 2 US Cyber team, we've kind of bundled our athletes into each round based off of some characteristics that the coaches saw throughout the US Cyber Open and the US Cyber Combine. So this first round of athletes that have been drafted onto the season 2 US Cyber team are the triple threat athletes. And the triple threat you'll hear more about from Dane and Ken here in just a minute or two. But the 3 components of triple threat are strategy, operations, and tactical. So without further ado, the 5 athletes that make up round 1, welcome to the US Cyber team. Caitlin Whitehead from the University of Central Florida, Vishwa Iyer from Georgia Tech, Adrian Self from Michigan State University, Josiah Stearns from the US Air Force Academy, and Andrew Quach, Oregon State. Back to you, Eric.
All right, Dr. Brown. So tell us, what is a triple threat athlete?
Absolutely. We were really excited about this category. It's new this season. Our commissioner really liked the throwback to the military here of thinking about strategy, the operations, the tactical, and having a player that brings all of it, right? Someone who's the complete package. They can help us out on the CTF side. They can help out on the red versus blue side, building tools, doing operational things, being a team player. It's someone who has it all. So we thought these 5 athletes for sure embodied that triple threat that she had envisioned.
That's wonderful. All right, and let's talk about one of those players. So let's talk about Caitlin Whitehead, okay?
So I chose to spotlight Caitlin. I looked across her CTF experience. It's intense. She's got a storied career. She even helps develop the challenges. And not only does she like competing, but she has a history of winning. So that's who we chose to spotlight for this category. Wonderful.
Thank you. Now, those are the first 5. Now, we're going to also invite Dr. Susanna Schmelk to please give the next award.
Yes, we're very, very proud and honored to give our Triple Threat Award to Sears Schultz for all his work and demonstration in these categories last year. And welcome him back this year. Thank you so much. Back to Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swan. Thank you, Dr. Swan. All right, coaches, what do you think about this award?
Yeah, this award's phenomenal, and Sears, he really represents this award well. So not only is, I think, you know, everyone in the crowd probably knows getting accepted into any military academy is pretty, quite an achievement in itself. So Sears is an Air Force Academy. He's also our captain for season 1 in Athens, Greece at the ICC. And just across the team, across the coaches, technical mentors, the feedback is outstanding leader. So he's well on the way in his career. Congrats, Sears.
Awesome. Well, let's give our first round a round of applause. And now for our round 2 reveal. Brad, take it away.
Thanks, Eric. So this round is the team multiplier. And once again, you'll hear from the coaches a little bit more about what the team multiplier means. But really some core components of the team multiplier. We're looking for collaboration and teamwork. Critical components to competing on a team. CTF, red versus blue. It's all about the communication, etc. So for round 2, the next 5 athletes, welcome to the US Cyber team. Austin King, Dakota State University. Gwendolyn Vonkasamsiri, also from Dakota State. Sam Myers, University of Houston. Rajat Patel, Rutgers University. And Jaden Balexa from the University of Southern California.
All right, gentlemen. So what is the team multiplier mean to the US Cyber team?
Yeah, so I try to take a little edge off on how I describe this. So I'm a retiree, so I was in active duty for 20 years. And one of the things that we really needed from soldiers and airmen, Marines, and sailors was the ability to be a combat multiplier. So in this case, as it applies to the cyber games, team multiplier is someone who makes the team better in many categories, and really, it may be tool development, it may be they're able to work across different categories. They really contribute to the team as a whole, as opposed to being very focused on a singular CTF specialty.
Wonderful, wonderful. Forgot the Guardians, though. You know, from the Space Force. So,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Sorry. My apologies.
Right. So, Dr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
Let's highlight one of these young players here for our team, Austin King.
Oh.
Why did you guys pick this player?
Absolutely. Austin King was certainly a no-brainer here. You know, as a multiplier, he embodies, you know, what we had in mind for that, right? Being someone who's a team player. He came out to Greece for the first ICC, and he was one of our alternates. You know, and the head coach at the time and I put together something that we now know as LobbyCon, right? So out in the lobby, we made some CTF challenges. We were talking about things because we couldn't go into the actual auditorium where the competition was going on. And Austin was our very first winner of the first LobbyCon. He, as an alternate, he just brought a great attitude. He worked with the other players that were there as the alternates. He was ready to do whatever we needed, right? I mean, he was truly a multiplier to our team. And we expect the same thing from this season.
We're going to have to codify that LobbyCon thing for next year. So, all right. So with that, I would like to invite, Dr. Payne is already here. Dr. Payne, please.
Thank you. Tonight we're going to recognize a team multiplier who was a member of the leadership last year and who displayed that leadership throughout the Combine this year, continuing to assist and support team members and the newcomers into the U.S. Combine. We're glad to recognize tonight Sam Hayden. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank you, Dr. Payne. All right, coaches. Sam Hayden, what about?
Yeah, Sam Hayden, another great pick. Like we said, another returning captain from season 1. someone who's just always there. You know, if we're looking through the Discord, when the athletes are communicating with each other, when they're working through problems, trying to get through tasks, it's Sam Hayden, right? He's helping people through. You know, he always knows what's going on, where to direct people, how to help them when they're getting stuck. You know, he really was one of the bedrocks of our team for season 1, and really excited to have him back for season 2 to see that same kind of team player and work ethic out of him.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, who's ready here? Let's hear it. Who's ready for round 3? Ready? All right.
Alrighty, folks. So for round 3, this is the Rising Star Red versus Blue Award. And I think most of you are quite familiar with the US Cyber Combine. A big part of the US Cyber Combine was a Combine Clash, which we're very fortunate to host a Red versus Blue scrimmage on the Hack the Box platform. Saw a lot of wonderful talent, a lot of great collaboration and teamwork. So this round is all about the Rising Star Red versus Blue. The 5 athletes representing the Red versus Blue, I would like to welcome to Season 2 US Cyber Team, Shandi Kanhai from Rochester Institute of Technology, Matthew McKeever from University of Central Florida. We have Shane Donahue, Dakota State University, Judo Kane, Arizona State University, and Will Green from the Sands Technology Institute. Back to you, Eric.
All right, gentlemen. So talk to us about Red versus Blue. Why is it so important to participate in this category?
Okay, thanks, Eric. This one's even a little bit simpler, right? Red versus Blue is one of the main concentrations when we go out to competition, right? So there's a day of CTF Jeopardy-style challenges and a whole nother day devoted to the offensive, defensive, Red versus Blue engagements. So we really need people filling out the team who are well versed in both. But you know, when we looked at the Combine Clash and the kind of operational things that we were doing, these players you know, really stood out for that. So these are the rising stars we're looking for to take the leadership and help us to win in that event.
So leadership is very important in this category, and being able to, you know, like we do in our field, you know, be that SOC leader or that offensive leader in there. So this is amazing. So let's talk about a specific player in this category, Matt McKeever. Tell us about him.
So we chose to spotlight Matt McKeever. One thing that stuck out right away was his exhaustive history of competing in very challenging, very complex CTFs and RVB style competitions. Also, he's working on his computer science degree, and we noticed not only does he say he likes offensive security and security research, he's actually been demonstrating it throughout the Combine and the Open. So he was a choice that stuck out to us.
Wonderful, wonderful. And now I'd like to, they keep on sneaking up on me here. Evan Dornbush.
It is my distinct honor and privilege to announce the winner of the Red versus Blue Award, and that goes to Andrew Phillips. Congratulations.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you. All right, coaches, let's talk about Evan. Sorry, talk about Andrew.
And Andrew Phillips, yes. So rising star for RVB, definitely stand out. I mean, not only did we observe this, but his peers observed this. So he's tremendous with helping with tooling for the events. If you've ever been in a Red versus Blue competition, it is fast and furious. I mean, you have a service level agreement where the bots are scoring you to make sure your services are staying up. So you're having to respond to the adversary activity and also abide by your service level agreement. So Andrew certainly embodies how to do that in real time. That is an event where you sweat. And so I think another thing that kind of got my attention about Andrew is he already has OSCP at where he's at in his career. He has multiple GIAC or SANS certifications, A+, SEC+, Net+. So he's well-rounded at a very young stage of his career. And I think what's very interesting also, so he's doing college, he's competing in very hands-on engagements, but also he automates a lot of the solutions during the events. So just outstanding rising star for this category.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, let's give another round for our round 3. Rising star, red versus blue. All right, so now for round 4.
I'm going to try to do this without spilling the tablecloth in my water. So for round 4, we have our Rising Star CTF grouping of athletes welcoming to season 2. A little bit about the CTF component of the US Cyber Combine, as well as the US Cyber Open. 5 traditional CTF categories. We really throw challenges at our athletes within these 5. You have your crypto, you have your forensics, you have your pwn, your reverse engineering, and your web. So as we were selecting these athletes, we were looking for some skills across those 5 categories. Athletes that demonstrated technical abilities in each of those disciplines. So without further ado, for round 4, welcome to the season 2 US Cyber team, Varun Iyer, Georgia Tech, Ethan Ho, Consumnes River College, Cameron Whitehead, the University of Central Florida, Justin Applegate, Brigham Young University, and Rohan Viswathan, Texas A&M University.
All right, Rising Star, capture the flag athletes. Tell us, what is so important within the U.S. Cyber Games and within the environment that they find themselves at now?
So capture the flag events, better known as CTF events, those are the more common Jeopardy-style CTFs you'll see at conferences or large CTF events, DEF CON, Black Hat, many more. They've been around for quite some time. They have different categories that they're comprised of, forensics, crypto, pwn or exploitation, or web application security. So this category, really, the category for this is someone who kind of embodies all those things. So that's what the category is for Rising Star CTF.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a little bit of change here to what we planned. But Dr. Brown, can you tell us how important for these athletes right now is the research skills in the CTF concept?
Well, certainly. Something that's kind of interesting. You're throwing a curveball in here, so I'm gonna actually speak off the cuff, and I'll give you my honest answer here. This is something that's difficult for people, right? There's a lot of people who have skills, who have an education in, whether it's computer science, computer engineering, like I have, that know about a lot of the fundamentals, right? And there's obviously a lot of people who don't. But CTFs are a bit of a different beast. You can have a lot of those underlying concepts down, but if you haven't practiced, if you haven't seen the kind of questions they ask, the way they ask them, if you don't have that kind of experience, it's really hard to be successful in a CTF. And it does take, I think, you're playing your first few to recognize that it's not about just kind of knowing the fundamentals. It's not just kind of about knowing a little bit about how technology works. You're going to have to learn on the fly, right, during this event, exactly how this kind of esoteric protocol or file specification or anything else works, and where the weaknesses are in that, what it is that they misconfigured or didn't implement in the right way. You find that out on the fly, and that is a different ability to kind of think outside the box, be able to do research on the fly, and to continue to develop yourself as a complete cybersecurity professional.
And Coach, how hard is it to find people that have that innate research and curiosity to do this kind of research?
Yeah, I think it takes a while, to be honest with you, Eric, because probably the first 5 CTFs I competed in, it was struggle, it was pain, it was, I did really well at this forensics challenge because I do this at work, or I did really well at this web app exploitation, web app exploitation because it's familiar to me. But then you get thrown a challenge that is crypto, right? Something maybe you're not so familiar with. So if you're not able to do research, you will struggle. And you will find out very quickly in a CTF where your skills are lacking. And if you want to keep competing in CTFs, you're going to go back to the drawing board. You're going to do that research. So it is very difficult to find, to figure that out initially.
Wonderful. So let's talk about a specific athlete in this category. Let's talk about Ethan Ho.
Okay, great. I want to actually dovetail on the question you just asked me here, because I was going to even highlight, for Ethan, who is a no-brainer here. He's a high school student. Okay, this person is young, right? They don't have a whole lot of experience. He hasn't majored in computer science or computer engineering, but was still one of the standouts in our Open, solving these challenges. Extremely difficult challenges, and I think it goes to show the ability to be able to think outside the box, to apply yourself, to learn and research, in real time, can have tremendous results, So I was super impressed by him. His performance makes me incredibly impressed with how our future generation of cybersecurity professionals is going to be able to perform and what they're going to be able to bring to the fight. And thankfully for us, to our team.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, he's at his young age leading, right? He's led his high school team. I got the privilege of interviewing this young man. Led his high school team in CTFs. Has leadership aspirations carrying forward with us on our team, and he's not even a senior in high school yet. So I'm just incredibly excited to see what this young man and a few others that are like him are going to really be able to do for us and in representing our nation.
I never thought that we would interview candidates that are coming from some of the best schools in the U.S. and then have some high school students say, do I need to go to college to be successful in CTFs or in cybersecurity? I was blown away when I heard that. It was humbling. It was a tremendous experience to feel that, and this is one of those examples.
Yeah.
And that's one of the athletes for all of you at home and all of you in the stage here, in the studio here, to keep an eye on, because the next seasons of the U.S. Cyber Games is going to be more exciting because of people like Ethan.
Absolutely.
So I was going to invite Jacob Elliott to join me on the stage, but he's already here. So Jake, take a look.
Thank you. So I'm here to present the Rising Star for the CTF Award to an individual who not only impressed me very much through the evaluations and interviews that we had, but also from what I've heard, really performed very well in the Season 1 challenge in a category, as Ken said, that is very difficult and esoteric and hard for a lot of people, and that's the category of cryptography. And so I'm pleased to present the Rising Star CTF Award to Mr. Aiden Benderly.
Woo! All right, coaches, let's talk about Aiden. Award winner, what do you got?
Award winner, and a very deserving award winner at that. If we're talking about someone who's a rising star in the CTF, right? The CTF has, just a few categories, and we have, people who are good at web, right? We have, thankfully, a few people who are good at reverse engineering and at binary exploitation, which we call PWN. But we had a standout in the category of cryptography last year, and that was Aiden, right? He took his joy and love of math to a whole new level. Went and learned a lot about the different techniques that are used for coming up with these cryptography challenges, and really applied himself. Right? When it came to difficult cryptography problems, the only question was, hey, where's Aiden? And so we are super appreciative of what he brought to our team. He helped us make crypto challenges for the new Open to test out our new players. I mean, he absolutely defines what we're looking for in a CTF star. And someone who can take leadership in a particular category.
So when talking about cryptography, a lot of people, and I know some of the folks here, do know, but for the people out there thinking about getting into the field of cyber, cryptography is esoteric to a lot of people. Can you guys help us not only demystify what cryptography and how we use it, but also why is it important here in the team?
Demystify cryptography in what, 1 minute?
In 5 minutes, I know.
I just got this.
What is cryptography?
Yeah. So cryptography is important because, if we boil it down to, the CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability, and even, non-repudiation authentication, the way that we assure most of those kind of pillars of cybersecurity that we talk about are usually through some kind of cryptographic means of keeping our information, private, making sure that it hasn't been tampered with or modified in some way, and making sure you're getting data from who you think you're getting it from. So having people who know how to give you each one of those kind of guarantees and find out when one of these systems is potentially flawed and be able to solve that kind of challenge, tremendously valuable.
And what about the team?
I want to caveat on that. So that's Dr. Brown from the Naval Academy explaining CIA triad, right? So for the rest of us, data at rest, data at transit, you want that encrypted, right? Where it's stored, where it's traveling, who doesn't get access to it. So that is a huge category in CTFs, and the fact that Aiden shines there, I mean, we're lucky to have him. So
wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, let's give another round of applause for our round 4. All right. So our last final round of new folks that are going to join the U.S. Cyber team. And Brad, can you tell us who these final 5 are?
I can, and I think before we get to this final round, I want to tell you a little bit about how all these athletes have gotten to this point so far. Those of you that are familiar with the U.S. Cyber Games program, you know that it starts with what we call the U.S. Cyber Open. And that's really our recruitment opportunity. And this year we welcomed well over 1,400 athletes into the U.S. Cyber Open. It was a 10-day CTF built largely by our Season 1 coaches, some athletes, and several of our sponsors. Those 5 CTF categories were represented in that US Cyber Open. And we use that to kind of fill our pipeline. And from there, we move from the US Cyber Open, open to anyone and everyone, regardless of age, et cetera, into the US Cyber Combine. And the US Cyber Combine is the first invite-only portion of the US Cyber Games program. And this year we invited about 82 athletes into the US Cyber Open. And this is where we start to lay on some of the rules and regulations from ENISA, the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity. They are the host of the International Cybersecurity Challenge that we will be so graciously putting on in July and August of next year. So things like the 18 to 25-year-olds, they have to be US citizens to compete on behalf of Team USA, et cetera. So we use some of that, the open data, the applicants' applications themselves, looking at their previous CTF history, and we start to pull athletes into this US Cyber Combine, which is an 8-week-long program. The first 4 weeks are really dedicated to what we call evaluations. And that consists of everything from senior tech mentor lecture series. So we are fortunate to have many of our coaches and other partners, sponsors, friends of coaches, et cetera, come in and offer these lectures to our athletes. Then we move into some evaluations and observations where we serve a set of CTF challenges to our athletes under some time constraints in various CTF platforms. We invite them into Zoom rooms so the coaches can kind of ride over the shoulder of these athletes as they're solving problems, kind of asking them about their process, their strategy, what tools they're using, how they're going about it, et cetera. And then we move into the second half of the combine, which is the engagement period. And the engagement period is more about the mentorship and the networking and the careers. And this is where we bring in a lot of our partners and sponsors. So we're very thankful to T from CISA. We're very thankful to Microsoft and many others, Raytheon, and even one of our Season 1 athletes, who is now a Season 2 junior tech mentor, came in and gave us a wonderful talk. Rebecca from Black Girls Hack. And it's really about, really about, really about driving home the importance of cybersecurity from a careers perspective and how these competitions and games relate to those careers. And a big part of the engagement period were these interviews. And you've heard some of the coaches bring up having the opportunity to interview these athletes over the course of the last several weeks to really kind of learn more about them, who they are, where they come from, what their experience has been in the combine, and really incorporate a lot of that kind of less qualitative data, less quantitative data into some of our decision making for the Season 2 team. So, with that said, we are now at our final round of the Season 2 US Cyber Team Draft Day. The final round, we landed on the name for this round as Exploitation Expert, and I won't tell you what some of the other ideas were, what was it?
I thought you said you wouldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell. So without further ado, we have 5 athletes that we would like to welcome onto the Season 2 US Cyber Team from the Exploitation Expert Round 5. Nozomi Watanabe. We have Tenshi Mata from the Rochester Institute of Technology. Jonathan Ho, Santa Clara University. Dayton Hasty, the University of Alabama in Huntsville. And Teddy Heinen from Texas A&M University.
So following up on something that Brad said before we get into the category itself, how important are these interviews for you as coaches to select these players, all 30 players that we have?
Yeah, so we have a bigger, on the U.S. Cyber Team, we have a bigger calling, I think, than just winning, right? So getting on a call with them and interviewing them and really getting to know them. Are they going to be a team player? Do they represent our country? Do they have depth in different CTF categories? Can they compete in RVB? Are they calm and cool under pressure? That's really what we're trying to flesh out during those interviews.
Okay. And what about you, Coach Brown?
I agree with everything that Ken said there. You get more than just data, right? You can see what's on paper that someone can accomplish, right? You can see their score, you can see what CTFs they competed in, but you don't really get a feel for them as a person, as a player, how they're going to interact with the team until you get to look them in the eye and have at least a chat with them one-on-one. So interviews are, I think, absolutely critical and weighed heavily into our decision of who we were going to select and draft today.
And for those athletes that want to join, how do you tell them how to prepare for a coach's interview?
I think part of it is be yourself. We want to see your personality. We want to know who you are. And, if you've done the right things, if you've been playing consistently in CTFs, you've been with teams, working with teams, trying to be a team player, kind of work through those issues, all that is going to come out in the questions that we ask you. And so I don't think you have to really overthink that as long as you are doing the right things to prepare yourself up front.
Okay. All right, so coaches, tell us, what is an exploitation expert?
Okay, I'll take that one. We just talked about Aiden at length and talking about crypto as a particular area where we need strength. But people will tell you some of the hardest areas to get into when you're starting CTFs are the reverse engineering and into binary exploitation. And so it's an important place for us to be able to have some real expertise. And obviously that's scored really heavily, right? Not only on the CTF side, But when you go over to the red versus blue competition, right, you need someone who can help exploit the different systems, right, and figure out what the vulnerabilities are and how you can defend your systems. So in many ways, someone who has that particular skill set of being able to get you access and do the exploitation is incredibly valuable on our team. So we look at that quite seriously.
And in real life, it's important to shake the windows, check the doors, make sure that they're locked. So that's why we have our offensive side. So is that where this translates from our exploitation experts to real life?
No, that's spot on. I'll say also in this category, these folks will never go hungry because this is some pretty complex skill sets they have. Very complementary to CTFs, very complementary to red teams, and to security researchers at some of your large security research organizations that build antivirus or HIPs or IPS solutions. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And so focusing on a player here, Dayton Hasty, okay? Why Dayton in this category?
So we spotlighted Dayton. First, he's at Alabama Huntsville. Really intrigued with iOS devices. So your phones, most of us have in our pocket, or 50% of us have in our pocket. In high school, he was jailbreaking them. I don't know about most folks in this room, but I wasn't hacking a phone in high school. So it is one of the more hardened devices that you carry around, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Also, he competed in the 2019 Global Cyber Olympus. That's actually very impressive at this stage of his career. So that's who we chose to spotlight for this round.
Wonderful. So now I'd like to invite Spence Lowe. Is he here? Oh, there you are. Okay, for the Exploitation Award.
Thanks, Eric. I figured I'd let you call me up.
Yeah, there you go.
So I have the great pleasure and honor of announcing the Exploitation Expert Award to Logan Stratton. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for, having... All right, coaches. So here we go. Logan Stratton.
Yeah, so like Aiden in the previous round for crypto, if you ask any member of the team, any member of the combine, who is the go-to athlete for exploitation, it'll be hands down Logan. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's it. That's a mic drop. He's that good. So go-to athlete for exploitation, bar none on the team.
Yeah.
All right. What about?
Yeah, and Logan also comes from that long line. I don't know what they're putting in the water at Dakota State, but we have just some amazing talent that we've gotten from that school, from people who are working there. He's continuing, his higher education there, teaching courses. This is what he does, right? Reverse engineering, exploitation. He is just phenomenal at it, and he helped us again in the open, putting together some really difficult pwn challenges for people to try, and heads were hurting from the stuff that he that made available for us, and he just has that talent, right? Like I said, it's the hardest thing to get into for most people, and somehow he makes it look easy.
Yeah, and looking back at season 1, and now looking at the athletes that we have in season 2. What's going on in Dakota State, okay? Because last year we had a lot of athletes from Dakota State. So great school, great people, and great talent that's coming out of that school. So congratulations to all these athletes. So with that, we have our 30 competitors for the U.S. Cyber Team. Let's give them a round of applause right now. But we're not done yet. We have one more award. And for this one, I'm going to invite Coach Brown to the podium. Let's give him a round of applause. Come on.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. So we have something unique here with the Cyber Games, which is that this is meant for younger people, right, to show their talent in the world of cybersecurity. So, generally this competition has folks between the ages of 18 to 25. And so when our players get to 25, they are kind of aging out of the competition, right? We'd love to keep them. I'm going to talk about this individual here, but I'm going to present this first award here to an individual who, was just instrumental on our team. We talked about the service academies here so far and the talent we're getting from them. I'm sure a lot of people in this room have, I've been coaching at the Naval Academy, our cyber team, for many years. And, I've played against people like, when John Hammond and Kate DeValk were at Coast Guard Academy, had to coach against them for many years. Sears, who you heard get the Triple Threat award earlier on, had to coach against him when he was at the at the Air Force Academy. Wish it was Naval Academy on my side, but coaching against these extremely tough players, having to prepare for them. And this next person here, the same thing. Another Air Force Academy graduate that I had to get my guys to be able to battle against. And here he is back on this team, super grateful for it because he, after Air Force Academy, he went to Carnegie Mellon, played with PPP. He's just an amazing talent. He went by the handle of Mad Stacks within our Discord, and as we knew he was aging out and playing in the final competitions, he changed his handle to Old Stacks, which was we found kind of entertaining. And I really wish I could have kept this guy on the team, but really glad to have him back as a junior tech mentor now. So without further ado, I want to, sorry, and why is this person getting this award? He was, what has he been instrumental with our last couple competitions, both in Greece and in Vienna at the European Championships. He's helped really build our red versus blue infrastructure from scratch with other members of the team, trained them on it, and he's given us something that we can build on from now and into future competitions. So I wanted to give our first All-Star Award from a previous player from our US Cyber Games team to John Johnson.
Thank you, sir. And also, I wanted to say, he forgot to say Army and all that stuff.
You know what? Wait a minute.
What?
Eric, hold on.
What?
I've got one more.
What?
I couldn't.
What's going on here? All right.
I actually, there's one more person I want to highlight as well. I would be remiss if we didn't also call one more individual out for an award. We have another all-star, right? We have someone who's done great things like John Johnson on the red versus blue side, but also on the CTF side, we have we can call a graduating player from the US Cyber Games who's also helping out right now as a junior tech mentor. This person told me, I asked what their handle was and what it meant, and the handle being was Playoff Rondo. And I was like, hey, why is that your handle? He told me his favorite basketball player, his name is Rondo, and was someone who, just kind of, was a good player on the team, but, when the playoffs came, right, was just above and beyond, right? All-star, MVP, really carrying the team into the finals and showing out that kind of performance. And this person really, I don't know if it's just, if he just spoke it into existence, but he embodied that really on the team, right? When we needed him, he was there performing. He's helping other players. I think he recruited half the new younger players on the team from other people he was playing with on other CTFs on the side. I can't say enough good things about this person. So I'm proud to present our very first CTF All-Star Award to Chris Playoff Issing.